Pacific Risk Tool for Resilience Phase 2 project, or Partner 2, focuses on building capability within the Pacific Island countries to run hazard risk modeling tools and be able to produce their own hazard risk information to support some of the decisions they need to make in the context of climate adaptation and resilience. So the training that we've been implementing this week here in the Cook Islands is part of a series of regional trainings that we've been rolling out across the 6 Partner 2 countries. Tools that we've been developing as part of the delivery of Partner 2 primarily focuses on the application of open products and open tools, and that recognizes that different countries have different access to different software tools. Core tools that we're using are the RiskScape, has a risk modeling tool, and also the Nexus information database tool, which also gives us flexibility to create maps, store data, archive hazard risk data, and provides a means for countries across different sectors to access digital data, geospatial data, which they can then utilize to run hazard risk models.
I found it really useful, bringing people together with GIS backgrounds and personnel and staff. So it's been beneficial for us to come together to learn more about RiskScape in terms of the disaster responses and climate change awareness, making sure that we've got data sets or layers that we call it to help with better planning for our ministries and agencies throughout the Cook Islands. In terms of knowledge gaining that I've gained from this workshop, it's mainly about looking at modeling tools and also with other platforms of GIS, QGIS, and also looking at learning more about climate change, some of the scenarios that's been used in terms of sea level rise, even the acronyms and terms. That's been quite useful, and I can apply that to my job back in the office with in terms of planning for our infrastructure assets, looking at where our risk assets are and risky areas are, and planning around that and making sure that these are tailored for more climate-proof projects as well.
From what I learned from this one-week workshop from RiskScape, and also using LiDAR as a baseline for the model, it will help us in designing a more proper drainage system for our engineers. Better understanding to look at it at 3D view and overlaying all these SRL data, which is a sea level rise, the flood areas, like areas that they see, and it will also help the engineers plan and to draw a better design when it comes to drainage. So you overlay all these RiskScape information on top of that layers, it will give a better decision, a better way to move forward for sustainable infrastructure planning. And like the types of designs, drainage, road that is capable to handle this, different series of hazards like sea level rise, flood areas, and also looking at the hotspots. So if we are looking at a 5-year period, what are the hotspots around the island that we have to keep a lookout to? And we're looking at a 10-year period. So all of this, and also comes down to the value of assets. So how much are we going to lose? How much it's going to cost us to build up, to maintain that certain assets.
So the trainings that we had in October 2023 was more like a foundational course on GIS. And I think we had a good representation of the different agencies that were, there, and taking in the different tools and ways that we can apply GIS methods. And I think leading on to where we are now in this RiskScape and Nexus training, we're now seeing, the fruit of what understanding GIS is. It's really good to see the hazard layers and stuff that's coming out of the RiskScape tool, and then also to visualize the dashboards in terms of what can be possible for our decision makers. From what I took out of it, I sort of thought of it in the context of how we can utilize it with EMCI. So I started building our own dashboards just to try and focus solely on specific islands and put a sort of national or I guess local sort of view to the data sets that we wanted to see, using some of our own data sets available to us, and then running that through the RiskScape models just to see what sort of differences we have, but also to find ways that we can try and I guess provide some sort of feedback to the models that are being run, so that we can, I guess, ultimately provide the most important information to, I guess, the specific countries or regionally in order to make things better.
The ministry has to, if the ministry have a forecast planning in place, then data is very, very important. So, you know, if there's a lot of planning put into the, you know, for the ministry, if there's planning ahead for them, then it should be effectively planned and ready to be implemented. In terms of further giving awareness to the community, the island, especially our farmers, of what is to happen during the time of hazard. Mostly for here in the Cook Islands, it's a cyclone. If the situation arises, what the ministry has in plan, what do we have in place now, you know, and then what is missing, and what needs improvement in this planning, so we can further support our families, our island as a whole, our community, when the situation arises.